So you've heard me say it before. The previous Submariner was and is my favorite Submariner. I don't like the new releases as much as the old one. Let's get into that. Now I got to try this piece at Ken's Watches. Massive shout out to Ken's Watches because they're literally letting me get hands-on with these pieces, and these are quite exclusive watches. This is not a sponsored video or anything. I just want to give a shout out where it's due. So let's get on with the video. The 116610 Submariner, the previous Submariner, the first ceramic Submariner. This watch is absolutely perfect. It literally needs no improvement aside from, okay, you can do a few tweaks with the movement, and that's good on the new ones, but in terms of proportions, in terms of dimensions, in terms of the way it sits on the wrist, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It needs no improvements whatsoever. Now, a lot of people don't like the Maxi case. I get that. The issue there is predominantly people being unhappy with the diameter of the watch or the overall size of the watch. Because frankly, the Maxi case gives it so much wrist presence, and it helps the watch sit on your wrist like nothing else. There's literally nothing else that sits on your wrist with the same amount of presence and overall feel like the Submariner does. I got my hands on the new one and I wasn't too impressed. Honestly, the differences are very minor. It's not exactly 1 millimeter bigger. I think everyone knows that by now. It's 40.5, like half a millimeter bigger at the very max. So that's not the thing we have a problem with. The new lugs. Rolex said they've kind of improved the taper of the lugs and made it a little bit more aesthetic, and a lot of people seem to agree. I know Adrian for one agrees. He said he didn't really like the Maxi case, but I really like the Maxi case. I think the Maxi case was perfect. Half a millimeter difference in diameter. Let's just not count that. Barely a millimeter difference in lug to lug. That's also very small, but the lugs are the largest difference between the two. The taper of the lugs changes the presence of the watch on your wrist, and I'm not sure that's the best thing. The 70 hours on the new movement is much appreciated. The earlier 50 for such an expensive piece from Rolex was frankly a little bit lacking, and to have really less than 70 hours is kind of poor on such an expensive and stately watch. Now Tudor themselves have 70 hours on their in-house movement, and that costs less than half of a Submariner. So the improvement to 70 is really average. I'd like to see the new movement on the Maxi case if that's possible. That would be really cool to do if someone ever decides to do that. Highly unlikely, but it's perfect. The watch was already perfect in terms of the physical watch. Comparing it to the new one, they really feel identical. There's literally no quality difference. And we have a boat. Okay, that's getting tight. Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty glad I got out of the way. Otherwise I'd have been a pancake right now, right over there. So, continuing with the Rolex Submariner. Okay, I kind of have to stand like this to be in shot, and I think this background of this boat is pretty interesting. As I was saying earlier, you really can't tell the difference between the two Submariners if you're looking for quality, the new one and the old one. They literally have the same quality. There's no real advancements made in terms of the bracelet, in terms of the clasp, in terms of the bezel. Nothing is any better. It's just the dimensions that are different. My legs are killing me. The watches are the exact same quality. There's no difference in quality is what I'm trying to get at. And I think the Submariner was perfect. The 116610, that was really the perfect culmination of all the characteristics you want on a quality watch. Of course, it's boring. It's absolutely boring. But that's what you get when you have a tried and tested design that's been 50 years in the making, and it's ever so popular. It has to become boring eventually. So, in conclusion, is there really any difference between the new Submariner and the old one? No. It's pretty much just the movement, and if you're not too bothered about the extra power reserve and that taper, then I think the old one is a solid choice. I would definitely get the old one because I don't particularly care about 20 hours more power reserve, since I wouldn't be wearing it on an everyday basis anyway. I don't wear any watch on an everyday basis. So if it were up to me, the old Submariner is still the perfect Submariner, and it's still the best Submariner. Let me know what you guys think. Some people really love the new case dimensions. Some people don't really care as much. A lot of people are in the same boat as me. And they like the old Maxi case. Let me know what you like. I want to know why you like that, and whether you think the new Submariner is really any different in the first place, and whether you think they're both kind of the same watch at the end of the day anyway. So that's been it. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers.